Okay, I'm recording now, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right, so who's gonna go first?
Okay, we'll put some bullet points if you guys want. I'll be your secretary. Okay, so it says we will have a group discussion about the story and what did we learn from it and what are the principles that we learned.
Yeah, since I think like we already know our, like each of our parts, like maybe we could just like give our insights on our
Mm,
um, parts, like what we learned in the videos.
good idea. Is that okay, guys? Alex and Yuri?
Yes.
Okay. So I am the introduction, right? And the objective. So maybe I can start. I can start the discussion. So what I learned from the book is that this book is about changes, and uh, it talks about how different attitudes of people, how they cope up with changes. So there are four characters, right? The two is more active and they keep going, and they just, I mean, the two mice, they just work and work and try new things. But these two small people, they're very emotional. They have, they have the mind, so it's very complex, and sometimes they just too focused on, they just focused on what they think what's right. Yeah. So those are because they have feelings, they have attitude too. Yeah. So I think the objective of the book is to help us learn how to cope up with changes and what is the right action or what is the right attitude when we face challenges like this, like the coronavirus. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think like this video, I mean, and this article is all about change. Like I was watching this video on YouTube. It's about like who move my cheese, and so like they gave an example of a two employees. So like the other one, like he was like earning money, and then all of a sudden, like the Amazon like change, like they made changes on how the consumers will make like payments. And so like this guy who sell his books in Amazon, his sales like went down, and so like he kept complaining and complaining, but the other guy, like he was able to anticipate change. So instead of complaining, he made some changes. So I think it's the same thing in what's happening right now in the industry. You know, we can see some airlines, like hotels, they're making some changes right now. Like airlines, they're removing the change fees. So like basically you can just like rebook your flight and they won't charge you for that. And some of the hotels, like they're giving like future discounts, for those like travel hungry tourists in the future. So like you can see that, like they're trying their best to make some change and like to adapt in the situation. So I think it's all about just like what you said, it's all about like how you anticipate the change and like how you adapt in the situation.
So I researched some articles about what are the leaders talking about right now, the leaders of the industry, and what they think about how do we cope up with changes, what are
Mhm.
some things that we need to improve, because I think this is the time to think about those, right?
Yeah.
Like in the companies, everyone stop, operation stop, so I think it's time to think about what are the ways that improve. So they say they will keep on uh, putting guidelines about social distancing, the even though the coronavirus stops someday in the future. The leaders say that they will keep on doing the social distancing, putting guidelines, and putting some effort to help the customers feel safe. So those leaders are really smart. They think about the changes. So I think that's how we apply this book if we become like them, like thinking about now and what we can do for tomorrow. So what I'm thinking was to add that on our objective in our presentation, because this book is about helping us to be leaders, because we need to
Yeah.
think about change, to think about the future.
And um, to go along with that, so the first question is like we have to make suggestions and like recommendation for what like travel industry
Yeah.
could do, right? And so like I came across to this article, like where it talks about like tour companies like making adjustments. So I've read this one. I think um it's an Thailand tour company. So like where they're having a market and like designated places that where can tourists can still travel, like where it's safe, and as well as like they will have a strict rules for tourists. So like tourists can only fly to that place if they have like a health clearance, like a health insurance, a fly to fly certificate. So like it has to be like that. So I think a travel industry should do that. I believe that not like every places are I would say like they're not very dangerous to travel. As long as you like comply to the rules. You know, um, you have the social distancing. You are cleared with your health and things like that. So if some travel industry could do that, I think they would have a bit success um, in this um, troubling times.
Do you guys have any ideas? What are some things we need to put on our presentation?
Okay, these are your notes in the section as it relates to managing the change from the perspective.
Are we going to record this one for our presentation?
No, so like we're gonna send this recording to our first assignment because
Yeah.
this one, I think it's a 40 points, right?
Yeah, 40 points, and this one
We
is
have to like give our like
yeah,
suggestions and ideas about the group presentation.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think,
So
yeah.
I think I can send the video later.
Oh no, because like we have to discuss it as a group, and so like this
Yeah.
is the video that we're gonna send
And
to our teacher.
yeah,
So
Oh,
like
but
we're recording right now, yeah.
but I don't. Oh, okay, okay. I see that. I see that.
yeah.
So it's
I
okay
can
that
send
I
it.
don't. Yeah, but because I don't have a camera right now, but as my desktop is
Oh,
okay.
it's okay. I think it's okay as long as
Okay.
we share.
Yeah, as long as we can hear your voice, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Should
I
be.
can share. Okay, I can share what I learned about the conclusion. So I think in the conclusion, this book can help me to overcome fear, handling major life challenge, and yeah, I think it can apply to the situation of COVID-19 pandemic. And it's because most companies in the world are experiencing challenge of their business, and most people are fearing losing their job. However, through reading this book, I learned that we need to able to control our fear, and I think we don't need to worry too much when we prepare better for our working skills, and we can and our preparation is very important for us to able address the challenge in our life. For example, right now, if we prepare for more working skills, even though we don't have a job in the tourist industry, but we also can choose to work in other industry. So we still can have the income for our life, and we will not lose our job. And also, if we having a business of the tourism industry, for example, if you have a hotel and in this situation, we can work more smart that using this time to improve the service and providing discounts to customer to use the service in the hotel. Overall, through reading this book, I think our experience can help us to be smart to solve our challenge, and when we being more positive to our job, and we have less worry, this can have more positive influence in our job, our relationship, and every aspect of our life. So this is what I learned from this book.
I think that's a good point that you brought up, that we must be positive while, experiencing changes. Because just like the book said, there are some, negative people, and they wouldn't like to move or to act while experiencing change. Yeah, that's a good point that even though, you know, this is happening, we still need to make some changes, and we still need to add some skills. Yeah, some people, my friends, they're doing certification and stuff. My hospitality and tourism friends. So I think that's one example that we can apply that by having our free time and doing something worthwhile. Yeah. Thank you, Alex.
I wanna add to Alex. So he said like we need to prepare for the future. I think the pandemic is gonna be. It's not only for this coronavirus, but in the future they're gonna have the same situation we might have. So we need to prepare for. We need to see and find out what is the most dangerous things in the tourism industry right now, and we need to think about it, and we need to like some hospitality industry is changing like the small things right now, but the small thing is very important, but we need to change the small thing to the big things for the future. So yeah, adapting for the future is very important, and preparing for that is gonna be making a great industry for the tourism industry, I think.
Yeah, I think it's all about adapting change. So in number two question, it was asking for like it relates to like managing the change from the perspective of a leader. So like, as what Yuri said, we have to think about the future, um, because like this pandemic is not gonna go anytime soon. I think it's gonna stay for a bit while, and so um, they have to make changes. Like if you're a leader, you have to make changes now. So hotel industries are now like making changes. I mean, like they have strategies now to like have a future bookings, and so because like they need an immediate cash right now, and so like they have cheap future bookings for consumers.
Discounts, right?
Uh,
Like they have
because-
discounts.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like uh, hotel industry, like they still have to pay for maintenance. They still have although they made some employment adjustments, they still have to pay for some of their employees, because like not all of their employees are like are fired,
Mm.
or like maybe like furloughed. So yeah,
And they have to pay. They have to pay for the loans, right? For
yeah, they
the,
still have
the
expenses to
debt.
pay, and so like they have to make
Yeah.
changes. So like we can use that for answering number two. Like thinking about future, like thinking ahead if you're a leader.
So I think being a leader is important in this situation. I think first, in a company, a leader must provide confidence to the employee, is because most employees are afraid losing their job, and even in airlines they are afraid getting infected by the coronavirus. So as a leader, he need to promise that he will provide all safety supplies. For example, paper towel, glove, and clean the airplane cabins every single time when the flights grant to the airport, and make sure they have enough face mask to the employee. And also the leader can provide some adjustments to the employee that they can choose to work at home if they being sick, and show more care through the medical benefits to the employee. So I think this can provide confidence from a leader, and more people will trust in the leader. When they have more trust, and they will be more positive to go through the pandemic of COVID-19. And I think when the people in a company more united through the efforts from a leader, and I think the company will be more positive, and people will have more idea to make some backup plan or some alternative plan for the future if there is another pandemic happen again.
Yeah, I think like if the leaders can make adjustments of what's happening now, I think they can prepare. Um, just like what Alex has been saying, like if they can adjust now and like make some adjustments, I think they can prepare for you know a better for the future. And because right now they got caught off guard, and so they're struggling in making changes. But so far so good. I've been reading some articles of some like hotel industries. Like they've been doing some great changes on how they adapt in the situation. So
And I think as a leader, we can use the opportunity in this pandemic is because I think some company wants to improve their public image. they want to leave a good image in the public. So if the leader can show the care to employee and also uh, make more contribution to the community. For example, providing more medical supplies, providing more face masks and to the people who need and those medical supplies in the community. I think the company image will be increased and more people will think that is a good company and that is a good leader. If we can catch up this opportunity, it will be it can help us to have a better image for the public and other people in the company.
Okay, so the third question is describe how travel industry leaders can help others overcome resistance
Yeah,
from workers to change.
it is quite complicated. At the third question, especially for like small employees, it's hard for them to make change because like they don't have anything to like generate their money from.
Mm.
So, describe how the industry can help others overcome resistance from worker to change.
Yeah, this is a hard question.
Yeah,
I don't know what exactly, I mean, what resistance exactly means here. Resistance to what? Resistance to change their
yeah, because like
personality, change
because like
their.
some of the employees, right? They got fired because some of the companies, they started to based on my understanding, I think they start some companies are cutting costs, and so like they laid off some of their employees, and so like those employees are somewhat, like there's somewhat like resistance, like they're struggling to adapt the changes, and so I don't know how to as a leader, like how are you gonna be able to help them like overcome resistance
Mm,
to change.
I think one way to overcome the resistance is like we need to tell the reason why the company made the change. Because some people don't understand why they changed the things, like cutting the cost or something else, and they don't understand why the company did that. So that's why they like tell some complaining or something. So the company should tell the reason why they made this change. I think it's the one way to overcome the resistance. I'm not sure yet, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like you can communicate with them.
yeah, I I remember Hem, the other character in the in the book when he said, "Oh, I want my old cheese. I want I just want I want it back. I want
Yeah,
I want my life before, and I don't want to change." So I
it's the
think
same as that. Yeah,
yeah, the
yeah,
same as that. Yeah. Uh, I I just remember the our homework today about the Airbnb that people need to change short-term rentals. I mean, Airbnb encourages their host to go to not do short-term or to lessen short-term and encourage them to do long-term. But because they encourage them to do the long-term rentals because there are more stability in pricing and all those things, all those economic things. But of course, short-term rentals makes more money.
makes more money. That's
Yeah, it
true.
makes more money. So the host doesn't want to change for the better. Yeah. So I think just like Yuri said, if we help them understand the long term uh, results or the long
Mhm.
term benefits of this, of these changes, I think they can overcome the resistance of changing. So it's about helping them to see the future. As
Yep.
leaders, do. We need to connect them and unite our vision to their vision, so that they will, they would want to change. Yeah. And I think just like Hor, what's his name? Hor, right? That's Hor. I think his name is Hor, and he was saying, "Oh, Hem, we need to change. You need to go with me and work this out. Come, come." But still, even Hem, Hem doesn't want to go, so he left them over. He left Hem. Hor left Hem and just go on his way. So I think as a leader, we cannot force people to do what we want to do. But we show them our example. Yeah. Any last words? I think
I think we
we're done
already.
here.
Yeah. So just keep in touch. If you guys have new ideas, just like, should we make like a Google Documents, or just Facebook Messenger is okay?
Sorry, guys.
Hey, we're in the 40 minutes mark. You can share your 20, your
Sorry, I cannot really hear you. Can you repeat
oh
again?
we just made the 30 minutes mark.
30 minutes mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you can share.
We're pretty much done here. And so if you
Oh,
could give your ideas and suggestion for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, that would be great.
oh,
Because
okay.
we're done already.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that. It's just like I just misunderstand it for the time zone. So
Oh,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
okay.
it's okay. No, no worries.
No worries.
basically for the my part for the summary, this is
Mhm.
talking about the how to move the my cheese, and there are four characters, the two people and the two mouses, and basically like how to react in our like facing in the problem. So it depends on their characterizing, and two people they are like satisfied about their situation that oh we have enough of the cheese and there is nothing really problem until we try to find another new cheeses. But however, for the mouses they try to like, wanted to keep find another cheese even though they have it. So there is like making it two different huge difference facing in our problem is to in hospitality tourism management. So those are the many of like tourism industry. They don't think about that is like COVID-19 is affecting it world wisely. I think until in Asia they think it spread all the world, but in on the other hand in America or other Western country they don't even think about it. So it's pretty much similar to the story that happening here and how do we uh, apply it in real life in here, life in here? We also like, have to keep thinking that how to overcome, just like the mouses did. So there are always a way to do that. How do we apply it in real life? So another part of my first chapter, principle first, principle one, changes that happen. So it's a kind of harder to change all around our environment. However, so if they could, or some of the example we got as assignment from the Airbnb, and Airbnb there are a lot of companies that are, the hosts lose a lot of money for their loan because there are many customers want to cancel their reservation. So they cannot do anything, but the one thing they can do, the little ideas that they can rent their house to patients or who are working in the hospital, and they can leave a little more rent it at a cheaper price. There is a one option that. The second one is that government aid. Actually, they can looking for that. Each country has a kind of like financial problem with their business. They are certainly finding that way too. So basically, that is like mentally how can we can change this to the problem, how do we control that, so that is the what I'm research about the change that happens. So is that too short?
Oh, you're good, bro. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's great.
we talk about the same thing, like
Uh-huh.
how to adapt to changes. It's the same thing that you said.
Yeah,
How
and
to
you
counter this pandemic.
yeah, and additional with that, you can answer the questions in Canvas. There are two questions. How
Mm-hmm.
do you incorporate uh incorporate ideas from your notes in this section as it relates to managing the change from the perspective of a leader?
Oh,
So just
perspective.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So in a perspective of a leader, how do we apply this book?
Okay,
Yeah.
that is one question.
Yeah, that's another question you can answer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 30 seconds. Yeah. And the third question was how travel leaders can help others overcome resistance from workers to change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Canvas.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, it's like how much time I spent, but
Yeah.
I have to more little more, yeah, push
So I
you.
think 1 minute each. I got an 1 minute and 12 seconds
Mm-hmm.
already. I finished my presentation. So just because I thought it's tomorrow, so I have to, you know.
Yeah, so
Anyways, I think it's good, right? Are you guys good?
yeah, a last one question. So, I couldn't get any other mail from this PPT file.
Okay, okay.
Can you send
Uh,
it again to me? Yeah.
okay, I'll send you guys again.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll send this now to, uh,
Send it on
to
Facebook.
yeah, this video to him. Yeah. Okay.
To send
I'll.
this one individually.
I'm not sure. I'll ask him. We can ask him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.